said rivet? What's rivet? Rivet like a frog?
I think I remember you mentioning her before.
I wasn't supposed to. After Rivet was gone, I tried to comfort him. He told me to never mention Rivet's name again. I'm guessing he was like...
Yo, yo. Ooh, I forgot I was in the deep dark. Let's get the freak out of here.
You are all that's left. We gave some color back. The power of a hug, bro. You never know, man. Somebody just needs a hug. You never know who may need a hug. Now, don't ask the women where my hug. That's not what I'm saying. I saw that humanity really. Less things have happened since I got here. I trust you. I trust you too, Agatha. How did death abstract? What? Why not repeat each other for such a long time? What means about half the video? I don't like this. One wins. Stop forgetting each other like that. Okay, yeah, go back. Stop. Y'all made it seem like you're not gonna see each other ever again. Yo, bro. This reaction is getting crazy. So, I hope Agatha and Poppy are able to like sleep together because like I feel like they are the closest connected to like this mother and daughter relationship. That's how I feel. It's insane how Jax abstracted, bro. Like I knew he was only teasing Quinn, but I truly thought abstraction was the process. I didn't know it was like that. Maybe they should have did this video a long time ago when everybody knows each other better. But you gotta remember, guys, like this video started 10 plus years ago. This is once Missing continued. So if you read these releases, we're back to totally different. J Introduction, thanks so much for that donation. He said, "Hi, Princess. Your favorite Division service character? Mine's Jax. I'm Poppy. She's the goat, bro, because she's relatable. She's everybody. She's unique. Like she's relatable. You know, she's not perfect, but she tries her best." Esco Infinity, movie. Thanks so much for that donation again, man. See if you haven't already, check out J Introduction. He's our least favorite Disney cartoonist. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Never heard of him before, but I will check that out for me. All right, let's get back into the video. Man, these Rider videos are always fun. That's just Jax's version of it.
Moving into second place. Contains 0 Bs.
A nightmare, however, a nightmare. Describe it as. She bought the gun, so are you just gonna pop back? Is that what you're about to do?
I might be coming up over a mountain.
What? Oh, okay.
No. Threesome.
This makes me calm down, right?
Oh, why did I put my bed here?
It's kind of beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of mesmerized. This must have been beautiful theaters.
Boo. Hmm. Oh, that feeling when nobody is watching your streams. Hey, hey.
shipped. It's never just a delivery. It's shopped same day and the same week.
Do any of you have a key to this door?
Nope. And even if I did, I wouldn't give it to you. You women need to learn to quit prying all the time.
Thank you. Shut his ass up, bro. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
I hope that doesn't also happen to me.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why did y'all disappear? Is he gonna disappear too? I kind of like these two. Sorry, you're actually cool. Oh snap! Are you the real Jax? He ain't the real Jax. GG's. Thanos got him too. He's inevitable. He told us, bro. He's inevitable. Oh God. What are we about to witness? Is he gonna be chained up or something? My computer freeze. Oh, what the? What the? We're back in reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Who's sleeping? Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, this is a flashback. That was Ribbit. That's Ribbit. I'm so sorry.
Whoa, it's okay. It's all
Get
right.
away from me!
Hold on now. My theory is that this was Jax.
Huh? No.
I wanted to say that this could be possibly human Jax. Like, this is Jax. Because we go from this, and then we immediately go to, like, Jax checking his hands saying, "What happened to me?" Clearly waking up in the digital circus for the first time. Is that Jax, like, his life before? Look how worried they look. They already know the explanation they're going to have to give him. They already know he's going to freak out.
Whoa, it's okay.
Woo! Get away from me!
Stupid.
They all look stupid.
I remember that feeling. It goes away eventually.
Cafe de Zero. Hot chocolate,
Hot
chocolate
chocolate's
flair.
pretty good.
Yeah, y'all got
Alpha and I
food.
made it kind of a tradition to come up here and get it every week.
So this is the girl that he likes. That's Kaufman.
Can't even tell it's not real.
Oh, okay.
Shut up! You caught me off guard.
Damn, man.
Got excited.
I see why you.
Well, yeah, you're not a type.
Damn it, Jax.
I see why you loved her.
You want to be on my team again? Sorry. I'm going to be showing Jax around this time.
Wow.
Fun.
I see why you loved her, bro.
Sup, moron?
Oh, God, same. I used to swear so much, but the censoring annoyed the shit out of me.
No wonder he snapped. No wonder he
Watch out
snapped.
for her. She's gonna corrupt you.
Okay.
He had friends. Ooh. Fire rooms like this.
Glad I could cheer you up.
Ooh. She's trying to do.
Have you ever breathed air?
Ooh. Ooh.
Done something that shouldn't occur.
She's trying to do.
Have you ever breathed air?
I mean, like, something you did out there that you no longer make up for. Can't stop thinking about.
Your whole life is gone. Sorry.
I cut ties with my parents and left.
Dang.
They were devout Mormons, and I
Wow.
wasn't. Despite that, I still wish I could see them again.
I know. That's probably like a common thing that will be eating every single person that gets trapped in the digital circus. Their life on the outside, what they can't change. It's like, imagine you had got in an argument with your girl or with your brother or with your best friend, yourself in the finale? I don't think so. And whatever you said, you're cooked. I don't remember what I said at the time, but hopefully I won't be cooked. A fish on a feet. It's been a while, man. How are you doing?
Stuck here.
658 34.
He was there, but he also kind of wasn't. He never seemed proud of me, and I always felt like a disappointment to him. Dang. Like I could never live up to his standards. When they split up, I just never saw him again.
Ever?
After he was gone,
She got bitter.
she changed.
Yep.
When I showed weakness, I was less of a man than him. When I lashed out, I was just as bad as him. It was confusing. It was like she missed him, but also hated him.
Yep. That's how it be.
And I
That's not how it should be.
so to it, Dave. I was just kind of fed up with him. I told her something I regret telling her.
Ooh, it's hard to take.
Personal. Probably get her off my back. She laughed at me.
Oh,
Then she went off on me.
I was not expecting that.
Stop.
Oh, wow.
Personal, degrading insults that felt like it went on forever.
Yo, mama did all this? Jax, no wonder you are the way you are. This is all starting to make sense, bro. He had a father that was never really interested in him, and then as soon as he divorced the wife, he was gone. He said, I'm not going to tell you I'm getting the milk. Like, GG's, bro. If you see me, you see me. If not, I'm not. His dad said, I'm Carmen Sandiego. You're going to have to find me. And then his mom took all her frustration and frustration and anger out on him. It wasn't even his fault. Like, he didn't tell his dad to leave. He simply probably just reminds her of his father. Damn, and then she started grilling into you. Your mom started roasting your shit. Dang, bro. Your mom's from New York?
What? Despite all that, the thing that bothered me most was at the end of all of it, she hugged me.
What? That's so confusing.
I didn't know what to do.
That is so
So
confusing.
I panicked, and I pushed her off me the force I could.
Oh no.
She fell backwards.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh!
I don't know if she was just trying to make me feel bad, or I never found out the answer.
So you don't know if you killed your own mother.
Just barely.
That's why.
Far away from it as I do.
That's why you're homeless.
Whatever I did to her. Never know.
Whew.
I guess there's a lot of things I regret about that day.
That is a reveal. up ahead of me! Okay, never mind. I thought she was taking her clothes off.
My secret's safe with me.
Dang, bro. No wonder he was in love with her, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the clown talking?
What do you want? Yeah, sound good?
What?
Yeah,
Awesome, bye.
Jax. Why would you say that? Jax, bro. Man. You ruined Jax.
sorry, made you feel uncomfortable. What are you talking about?
Is that corny backstory out of a Hallmark? Really got
Stop giving me like secondhand grade, bro. Like you were doing so well with her. She's so we heard his backstory. We heard his childhood. You know, showing emotions in his house was never rewarded. Never rewarded. So no wonder his defense mechanism. Because growing up, if you were to ever show emotion, was ridiculed by both parents, basically. So okay, it makes sense why he's doing this.
that corny backstory out of a Hallmark?
But I don't like this.
Got you though.
You should have just been honest, man. Dang! You doing her?
Nah, I'm teaming up with Cop Pop. Maybe next time though.
You're doing her like this?
You're supposed to look like that.
Jax!
You want to team up?
Nah, I'm with Cop Pop.
Okay.
Jax, bro. Alright.
I have no idea. What?
Oh.
Gonna hang out in the cafe.
Okay.
Oh.
Why are you telling me this?
Jax.
Hey, Jax, can we talk?
What is there for us to possibly talk about?
I don't know. Just whatever I did, whatever's going on between us, can we just stop this? I miss talking to you.
We're here. We're talking. What do you want from me?
I just want to be friends again.
What? So you can pry into my personal life and hold it over my head?
She wasn't holding nothing over your head.
This can't be what you want.
What? Because you know me so well. Because we're so super close best friends. So we know everything about each other.
We were great friends, and I'm
Oh
sorry.
my God!
But I don't want this one stupid mistake to be the thing that ends
Here
all
we
of this.
go. Why are we still fixated on that night? Nothing happened. Reading into things when there's nothing there. You're the ones using me. You're manipulating me and
I'll leave you alone.
I got so close to my mic, I almost deep throated it. Pause.
If it ever says anything about me, just know it's not true.
Jax, you're going out. You're going out like a lame.
Hey, Ragatha. What was that movie you were talking about earlier?
Huh? Wait, when was I? Oh, you mean yesterday?
You're going out like a lame, Jax.
Hey, Jax, have you seen Bridget at all today?
Is this how she dies? Because she doesn't. Oh no, Jax.
Hey, look, we were friends, but I know you two were especially close. Just, if you
I'm really trying, but he had a girl. He had a girl that truly cared about him, that truly loved him, that truly wanted the best for him. And what it, he do? What did he do? He pushed her to abstraction. This was his fault. You can't blame anybody but Jax, bro. Because you gotta realize he alienated her. It wasn't just that, like he stopped talking to her. He made it feel like it was her fault, one, gaslit her two, and then kind of started hanging out with everybody else, so naturally she just felt uncomfortable being in a group situation if he was there. You get what I'm saying? He alienated her, and we all know what happens to people who live in isolation for too long. Jax, you suck eggs, bro. You absolutely suck eggs.
I know it's hard. Just don't be afraid. Reach out to me.
Straight eggs. Straight eggs.
How about we call her Gangle? That sounds
Oh,
pathetic as just
that's when Gangle pulled
Great
up.
choice, Gangle. I'll be sure to add that right into the system.
Man.
out of the way, Rax.
Jax, look, I know we don't get along, but I think I might have found a way out of here.
Have fun being crazy.
I should just play along until I wake up, right?
Whatever you say, kid. You never know until it's too late.
And that's when Kaufman abstracted.
You're not looking too good.
Yeah.
You gonna cry?
You're snapping, man.
Looking like this? Completely forget about it.
I'm very upset with Jax, bro. The words you're saying, man. You can't be saying this kind of stuff. Kaufman said, Kaufmo, he said he may have found a way out of it. And then he abstracts. Maybe abstraction is the way. Maybe it's the first step. Maybe abstraction is the beginning of a step.
At the edge of a universe, humming a tune.
So she knows his backstory now. Sunken place.
Everything now. So why are you here? Just to rub every mistake I've ever made in my face?
Yo, your parents did a number on you, Jax.
Terrible person. Is that what you want me to say?
You got the Michael Jackson glove. Oh, that's his mama. Mama!
Or you know I am. So why does anybody still care about me? It's supposed to care. You're not supposed to be into me. You're not supposed to love me. This isn't how it goes.
Pomni? Push Pomni? Push Pomni?
Please,
No.
leave me alone.
you're trapped in here.
I did this to myself.
I feel like there's a way back from being abstracted.
No, back from this.
I don't think so. I think there's a way.
Talk to me now.
Ooh, powerful. 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 Very powerful. The power level of that line is, I know.
You know that.
You hate everybody. You hate the world. Go ahead and cry.
Always have to go and complicate things.
I need that teardrop to fall.
So what I do?
It's bugging me. And he's really hugging her.
I don't want to go.
Back. There has to be a way back, right? There has to be a way back. Abstraction can't be the end. Can it? No, because if it was the end, why would they round up all of the abstracted people and then put them in like that little basement if there was no coming back? I mean, you could have just deleted them, right? That's what they did with the abstracted people, right? They shoved them in that little basement thing. There has to be a way back from abstraction. I don't think it really is it. And if it really is it, GG's, Jax. I'm sorry, but I'm still conflicted. This dude really did suck eggs. Like the way he treated Ribbit, I can't rock with that, bro. I'm all about like making people feel like welcome and accepted, and like you completely just threw her away like trash. That's very, very, very lame to me, man. Like I understand what you're going through, and like you weren't really rewarded growing up for sharing your thoughts and emotions, opening up, etc. But Ribbit ain't your parents. That's all I'm gonna say. Big panic attacks, I know.
Stay with me.
Oh damn, this is gonna be a panic attack. Oh my god. What was happening? Montage before he's really gone. Ooh, the power of friendship! The power of friendship! The power of friendship! The power of friendship! Is he back to normal?
Trying to take care of him all by yourself, were you?
Wow, they're gonna help too.
I'm glad we weren't too late. Like you guys keep saying, we're all in this together.
Was she this close to being abstracted as well? What? Wow. Wait, Poppy, are you good? You're glitching still. So is that gonna be Jax's tongue? Okay, so he's a bit more tame, but we know he's somewhere in there still. So all of the people who abstracted, they're still in there, bro. They're still in there. Yeah, she had beef. She kind of had beef with Jax, kind of. You know. Now you're gonna cry. Everyone mourns differently. Everyone mourns differently. Take your time, Gaggle. Gangle.
Having a lot of complex thoughts.
The complexes of emotion. Everybody needs to hug sometimes.
We're still human.
About that. I really don't know about that actually. Like, I quite literally think you're 100% wrong. You aren't a human. You are quite
We're not horses.
Keep him contained.
It's probably just gonna be glitching for like ever.
Darkness is soothing to him. Better be.
Darkness
You know
is
how many
soothing
rooms
to
I
him.
had to go through to get him in.
How are you holding up?
So when you touch them, they
Doesn't it hurt?
yeah.
I've been through worse.
Thank you for doing this.
I'll share this movie with you.
All of you.
Hey, someone had to do something.
So what? We're just gonna chill here and have adventures. Oh my God! What the hell? He's alive! I low-key forgot about Cade. Last episode saying I don't think he's gone, but low-key forgot about him until they brought him back. Cade, man, you're in the recycling bin. What's that bubble?
At the edge of a universe.
Remember, guys, he's AI.
Humming a tune.
He doesn't understand human emotions. He's AI, so like he doesn't know he was doing that.
Tried to delete me.
Tried to. Oh snap! They're in the wrong, right?
Did I ruin this?
Is he gonna take a count
Again.
again? Oh, you've been here before. That's the red dot. Yep, we remember. We remember episode 7 or 8. Oh God, he has the chaos rings. Yo, where are you? Are you in the RAM? You're in temporary memory. Where are you, Kane? She's just floating through cyberspace. That's not even cyberspace. This is. Oh, what was that? Oh, oh, what was that I saw? Is that the exit? Is that the exit? You have to make it come to you. You can't go to it. What are you doing? Oh, he's going to a file. He's going to a file. A folder. A folder, I should say. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, oh. Oh. What is behind that door? That door is a folder containing stuff. Neuroscans! Blue Street Cafe, free Wi-Fi. Are those the brain scans of all the people who have been in the digital circus? Hold on. Here's the pressing issue, bro. Even if you find some way to access these files of their brain scans, because like I said, or like I believe, R.I.P.
All it takes is a nap, a snap, a couple of taps, and zap. Go from snap to sold by listing your items today.
Escape is deletion and deletion is death. Wait, these must fucking. What is he learning? Defy gravity? Wait. I do know this, and he absorbed that other program. I do know that. He destroyed the other program. What is this representing? This is like a. Is this like a? Is he? What is? Is he breaking past his like restrictions? The firewall? What is this supposed to represent? Is he bringing himself back from deletion from the recycling bin? Detroit, become human. Break past your barriers. Become free. Each time he gets like more body parts. Blue Street Cafe, free Wi-Fi. At least they got free Wi-Fi. But why does the door say that? And hold on, oh god, what's in the files? Are these all of the people ever in the digital circus? Those are other brain scans, right? Is this his first time? Or did he just restart? Yo, hold on. Is this his first time, or did he create a whole new circus, bro? Hold on! Mike Dobby is a human being. He just gave it a shape and created. So that was a brain scan. He gave it a shape. He created a digital circus. What I need to know is no, because the first person in the digital circus was Kinger. He is one, or no, he wasn't. We don't know if he was the first. This is the first new circus. I think he started over again, bro. Because when he was floating, he said, "I can't believe they deleted me." So he has to be referring to Pomni, Tinger, and all that. But then he said again. So this could have possibly happened already. He's been deleted before, and he's constantly restarted. I don't know. Did he just reboot the universe low key? No DC? Ugh. We don't know. But I do know Kinger was like one of the OGs. I think he was the first. Abigail Brooks, we don't know. But Zoe could be Zubul. Leroy. All right. Mateo. We don't know. Abigail Brooks. Wow, this is actually creepy. He's able to find out everything about them.
Alone at the edge of a universe, humming a tune, or merely dreaming about what. Alone at the edge of a universe, humming a tune, or merely dreaming. I am so. Spent a whole day looking for my base. That's a full 20 minutes right there just searching for my base.
So like they're still. Okay, you just set it free. Hopefully they will do that. I don't know. But we do know that was like the original one, right? Red came afterwards? Or no, Red came before. Doesn't matter. They're both programs. Say goodbye to your brother. Cain and Abel, that's true. So what is he gonna do? Like, is he actually sorry? Is he truly sorry? Or is this gonna be a situation where like robot sorry where he thinks he's doing them a favor, but really he's tormenting someone. He's changing. He thinks he's a good guy now. That's the thing about AI, bro. Man, they don't really understand human emotions. Like, very complex, you know? Who's this? The moon? Hello, moon. I don't know. Looks like I get to face them again. I don't know what they serve. Seems like when they find out.
It all remains to be.
loves you. There's hope for you, Kane. Why I thought that moon was gonna switch up. I was thinking like kids as soon as Kane left. All right, so he's not here for revenge. Maybe he's here to. Oh, he fixed her. I don't think he's here for revenge. Maybe he just wants to try to make amends. I don't know. It's time to freak out, guys, because I don't trust Kane. I don't trust him fully. He's an AI. He's a bot. Yep. Yep. I love that skin, Zoogle. Zoogle. I understand. Zubal, whatever his brain. Kidding.
You have no reason to trust me after all I've done. But I'm doing a lot of things. I want to give you control of this place.
Please. So what we saw when he made that dog, maybe it was the first incident. What are we thinking, guys? Smile can actually beat him.
Caused a lot of hell for us. It's gonna take some time to build up any kind of trust between us again.
True. But. I mean, like, Kane's not the reason why they're here. Never mind.
But despite all that, it's good to have you back.
Did you need any help with?
No,
Can he reverse extraction?
works with me.
Understandable. Oh,
Maybe Kane can't do it.
feel free to join me by the stage whenever you're ready.
Is it another adventure? Why do I still not trust this guy? I mean, he did have a lot of time to think, though, so I'm open to hearing him out. Sit on the big, comfy green couch. Remember that show, Big Comfy Couch? Going too young.
Hey? Okay. Just like my viewers, some of the talk they leave. What the hell was that? Are you poisoned? Alone at the edge of a universe, humming a tune, or merely dreaming. I am so. Almost 1,000 people watching this live right now. Oh, my neck. There's been 0 people watching for an hour and 14 minutes.
hoping to hear him out. Let's sit on the big, comfy green couch. Remember that show, The Big Comfy Couch? Y'all are too young.
You dream, you save, you plan. For years, you imagine the life.
Living her best life.
You might as well have fun here.
And here. Just Pomni.
Go by Pomni then. Okay. This is making a lot more sense. Hold on. What's going on? Okay. This is making a lot more sense. Okay. They're accepting it. They're accepting it because I constantly paused the video and said this. Don't they exist in the outside world? So like you're not gonna really be able to escape because you're not a person. Now that they're able to go on adventures and do what they want and have full control, this could actually be less of a nightmare situation. You get what I'm saying? Now they know the truth. Now they can accept it. Now they know that they are on the outside and like people aren't missing them, and they have full reign and full control of these magical worlds. They basically got isekai. They got isekai. They reincarnated as a circus character. They can go on adventures, bro. They can do whatever they want. So it's not ideal, but think about it, guys. Are you in a rush to go back to your 9 to 5 and your anxiety and your stress and the fact that you have no girl in your life? Are you really in a rush to go back to that, or do you want to be in a digital circus where you can have adventures and do whatever you want and you have full reign and control of your life? I think I'd rather live in real life, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'd rather live in reality, but you can't. You're zeros and ones, so you got to take what you get. And this doesn't seem as torturous anymore now that you're not forced. But yeah, I'm taking real life any day. I'm sorry, but they don't get the choice to choose real life though. If I get the choice, get me out of this fantasy world. I don't care if I can fly. I don't care if I can create giant Godzilla creatures that I can fight with all day. I don't care. I want to go back to the real world. I gotta live in reality. Ooh, Ribbit. I'm sorry, Ribbit. So there's not going to be a season 2 of Digital Circus because there kind of won't be a point, right? The whole escape being like the major plot, major like goal is gone. There's no point in escape because you can't escape. This has to be the end, right?
This is the
This is the series
end.
finale. Yeah. I don't see how they can have a season 2 after this. And all of the abstracted people are just chilling. I kind of hope they're able to like reverse it, but no, I guess not. Okay, she got her little bartender flow on. Okay, she said, I mean, I did do this in real life. For me, look at them having fun and bonding. Wow. Wow, bro. Jax, if only you held on a little longer. Wow. Yeah. We're gonna finally see where what computer we're on. I mean, we've seen the office. We've seen the office the computer's in. Okay, we're not going outside. It's all good. It's all good. We know what's happening in the outside world. Oh, Pomni, waving at me. I'm gonna miss you. Don't fade to black just yet. No. Let's get it. Oh, wow. We are in the outside world. We find out that's all of them. That's all of them. That's Abby, that's Jax, that's Kinger, that's probably Zubul, that's Gaggle, and that's Ragatha. Oh, Ragatha was the white girl. Zubul is the chick with the tattoos. Hold on. Okay. This is Gaggle. Or Gangle. Sorry, I keep saying Gaggle. Gangle. This is Zubul. This is Ragatha. This is Pomni. Kinger. And that's Jax. I think I got them all right. This is Ragatha. This is Pomni. Kinger. And that's Jax. I think I got them all right. Or Gaggle? It's not Gangle, it's Gaggle. Okay, that's Gaggle. My fault. But yeah, I got them all right. So she didn't burn her face. So I guess she was just a very, very, very shy girl. I thought she wore masks because she like burned her face, but no, her face is all right. She's just shy. Wow. They're all getting on the same bus and they have zero clue. They have zero clue that copies of their brains are out right now in a digital circus having adventures. You have no idea. This could be true, guys. This could be happening on planet Earth right now. There could be a digital copy right now. Wow. Wait, what's the numbers on there mean? Does that mean anything? Does that mean anything, guys? What does that mean, guys? All right. Is that really it? Wow. Amazing digital circus. What a beautiful series. What a beautiful series. Wow. So they're expanding the world? Is that what I saw, or is that just the other worlds they go on adventures? They're all friends with each other. Learning how to cook, all that. Yeah, they're just going on adventures. Look at Zubul's door. Am I missing something? What door? What door are y'all talking about? In the credits, okay. In the credits. Oh! That's what y'all wanted me to see. Wait, who was clapping them, Kane? Oh, it was Zubul.
Due to a very cute emoji-shaped problem, he's taking Single Dadhood 101. Worry
Oh, that's what y'all wanted me to see. Oh! Oh, that's what y'all wanted me to see. Okay. Sheila's getting her cheeks clapped. Wait, who was clapping them, Kane? Oh, it was Zubul and Gaggle. Gaggle. Gaggy. Okay. So, I mean, I kind of saw it. I kind of peeped at how, like, she was blushing a little bit whenever they grabbed each other and touched each other and whatnot. Okay. They had a thing for each other. Makes sense. But Gargle and Zubul, yo, they was getting it on. All right. Absolute Cinema indeed. M 2000. M, thank you so much for that donation. M is my long listener. Unleashed Papa Street. I don't know what you're trying to say. Unleashed Papa Street. Huh? Anyways, Launcher, thank you so much for those donations as well. Even though they're technically code, their identities and messages will still benefit you. I agree, but what? I think flesh and blood makes you human as well. Don't get me wrong, like they were human. They were human, but they're not human anymore. They were once human, but the zeros and ones, I don't know. I don't think that's human, bro. It's not. They were once human, yes, but they're literally zeros and ones now, essentially. They're literally zeros and ones. And Mon just said Gingle's accident was she got hit by a truck. Okay, so it wasn't like, oh, I think we remember that in the Gingle episode where we were like watching her be a fast food worker, and there was like a truck. Yo, nonetheless, this show was amazing. 10 out of 10 to the show, bro. I'm so glad that I started watching this. And for all of you who watched this in theaters, I know it was beautiful, bro. Watching it on the big screen, it had to be beautiful. But yo, I gotta go now. Yo, boy got to work some more, man. The grind don't stop. Thank you to everybody who donated. Yo, everyone on Twitch who donated bits and started. Yo. Kitty Demon on Twitch gave me 10 subs on Twitch. Thank you so much, Kitty Demon. Yo, I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to show you love the time you did 10 minutes ago, but thank you so much, Kitty Demon, for the subs you gave me on Twitch and for the bits you gave me on Twitch. Thank you so much for all of the love and support throughout the entire weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here, but yo, Glitch, shout out to y'all for making an amazing series. Amazing Digital Circus took the internet by storm, bro. I don't think there's another animated series on YouTube that has a clout that Amazing Digital Circus has. They released in theaters things. That's next level clout right there. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I'm very, very interested in seeing the next show that Glitch has to produce for us. Until next time, I have another Glitch series in the bag. Merge Rose, now this. I'm gonna miss this show for sure, but what a beautiful ending. Very satisfied with the ending. Not upset with it at all. Until next time, guys, it's been your boy Prince of All coming. Stay charmed, my friends.
Honestly, but this isn't even me streaming
Jeffy,
anymore.
so
This is
all
just
right, Jeffy, I rated what'd you say, a 47
this
like
is just
that?
me playing Minecraft.
But I rated a 3.
Still bad, because it's just a SpongeBob with a booger, and I can't draw the real thing because it's copyright.
Oh, he's so sad, baby.
I wonder if we should call the doctor. But pizza first.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should probably definitely get the pizza though.
okay, I'm gonna call it
wings.
with wings.
Yeah, my stomach's done.
Okay, I'm gonna call the pizza place and a doctor.
Okay, pizza.
Hello.
Hey there, somebody call a doctor and order pizza at the same time?
Why are you delivering pizzas if you're a doctor?
Listen, I got a lot of jobs. I'm just trying to be efficient. I was actually in the middle of open heart surgery, and then Papa John's called, and he said the N-word, and then he said you needed some pizza.
Wait, so you left open heart surgery?
Oh, yeah, don't worry. I told the nurses to just, keep the guy stable and keep pumping the heart, just pump it up. Pump the jam. Pump it up. Well, your feet are stomping. I'm sorry. Every time I hear pump it up, I just go right into a song. It's kind of like whenever I hear Chili's. Chili's baby back ribs. Barbecue sauce. I got a song for everyone.
Well, listen up.
What do you mean 6 views? When did people join? What do you mean 6 views? When did people join? Now I feel bad that I didn't see them. Now I feel bad that I didn't see them. I don't want comments disabled. Comments disabled. the hell? Oh, I do not like that. I'm still. Oh, I do not like that. I'm still. Okay. What else do I need to do on this house? What else do I need to do on this house? Anybody want to join? It'd be really cool. Anybody want to join? Any day? It'd be really cool. Any day. I mean, I don't even see the difference in like people who tuned into the live stream, whether I had the thumbnail or not. People who tuned into the live stream. Well, I guess I had 4 people last time, and now I had 6 apparently this time. Well, I guess I had 4 people last time, and now I had 6 apparently this time. That I never noticed or watching. It's funny how I say it, then I hear it on my stream, and then it's a stream delay. But then I hear that coming back through my headphones, so the stream delay is stream delayed. But then I hear that coming back through my headphones, so the stream delay is stream delayed. But then I hear that coming back through my headphones, so the stream delay is stream delayed. Oh my gosh, how far does it go? It's the stream delay. Okay, so it's my voice, and then it's stream delayed. And then I hear that stream delayed, and then I hear that stream delayed, and then I hear that stream delayed. Stream delay. Okay, so it's my voice, and then it's stream delayed. And then I hear that stream delayed, and then I hear that stream delayed, and then I hear that stream delayed. Then I hear that stream delayed, and then I hear that stream delayed, and then I hear that stream delayed. I mean, I know I'm sounding repetitive there, but like, literally what I'm hearing. I mean, I know I'm sounding repetitive there, but like, literally what I'm hearing. I'm sounding repetitive there, but like. Hello. edge of a universe, humming a tune, or merely dreaming. I am so. Edge of a universe, humming a tune, or merely dreaming. I am so. Hi, zombie. Hi, zombie. I don't want to tear out all this forest just for one house, because I gotta build more, and I still want it to be like very heavily dense forest. I don't want to tear out all this forest just for one house, because I gotta build more, and I still want it to be like very heavily dense forest. I don't want to tear out all this forest just for one house, because I gotta build more, and I still want it to be like very heavily dense forest. I kind of want to make it look off center. That way it looks like, you know, it's not modern day, you know, it's an old building. I want to make it look off center. That way it looks like, you know, it's not modern day, you know, it's an old building. It's not modern day, you know, it's an old building. Wow, this stream is depressing. Dog, single player worlds are depressing in general. Because, I mean, I'm just alone. Single player worlds are depressing. That's why I like playing servers, you know, there's people to talk to, there's people to see your builds, there's people to hear you. But single player worlds, I mean, I can blow this goat horn all day, and even if this goat horn went 1,000 blocks, you could hear it from 1,000 blocks away or 10,000 blocks away. No one would hear it. Not a single soul exists in this world except for me. Just look at this. Can't convince me this isn't depressing. I'm sitting here building this house as night falls onto this valley. I can blow my horn, I can jump up and down, I can hit the air. No one will ever see me, no one will ever hear me. Nobody. Not even the villagers are here. I think they all died. Go to sleep and see how that looks. Okay, but where isn't it in Mom's? Oh my days, this is boring. I'm going back to watching YouTube.
There's more to imagine when you listen.
the deal, right? Except that deal is dead, and everybody knows it. The average age of a first-time homebuyer in America just hit 40 years old. 40. Let that sink in. Our parents were buying houses in their 20s. We're supposed to wait until we're middle aged now. Just a few years ago, this number was as low as 32. Now it's all the way up to 40. And with that, wages haven't kept up with inflation in decades. Real wages adjusted for inflation have barely budged since the 1970s, while productivity has increased by 77%. People are working harder than ever and making the least amount they've ever made. Corporate profits are at record highs, while companies are laying off thousands of workers to boost stock prices. In October of 2025, we actually just broke a record, a 22-year record for the most layoffs in 1 month, or announced layoffs. So you have the stock market at record highs. You have companies making the most amount of money they've ever made, but yet we're cutting employees to make even more money and boost our bonuses, not our bonuses, the CEO's bonuses, and pad their pockets. Insane. The job market's an absolute nightmare right now. Companies are asking for 5 years of experience for just an entry-level position. If you can even find that position or a posting that actually is in your field and industry that isn't overcrowded with thousands of quick applies. Oh yeah, and by the way, most of these positions are paying $35,000 a year starting, and the rent in the cities that they're requiring you to move to, $2,000 to $2,500 a month. Insane. The legal system we're currently in, you're not getting spared in this conversation either. Both parties are run by people in their 70s and 80s who own multi-million or billion-dollar companies, multiple real estate firms, have hundreds of houses, themselves own multiple homes. And do you think they've applied to a job? Yeah, okay. Majority of their jobs stem from nepotism and being lobbied by their buddies. Do you think they've ever had to worry about student loan payments or housing affordability or even being able to afford food because SNAP benefits have been frozen for over a month? So yeah, things are pretty broken, and we all know that. I'm just stating the obvious. But here's the question nobody's asking. What is Gen Z's solution to this? Because let's be real, complaining about it online isn't going to fix it. Waiting for politicians to save you isn't going to work either. And pretending everything will magically get better if you just work harder is pretty delusional. So today I want to lay out the actual problem we're facing with real data back behind it, not just talking about vibes. Let's talk about the actual solutions. What are they? How can we achieve them? Not just individual life hacks, but real systematic changes that need to happen and what we can actually do to make them happen. It's not going to be a comfortable conversation. All of these solutions aren't going to be a one-size-fits-all thing. Some of you may even disagree with parts of this, and that's completely fine too. Like I just said, not every single problem has one solution. There are multiple ways and scenarios out of this situation, but I am going to talk about proposed solutions, and maybe we can have a discussion in the comment section or in my Discord server about what will actually cause change. I just think we need to have an honest conversation about where we are and what needs to change, because our generation is getting smacked. We are absolutely smacked right now. So let's start with the problems. First of all is the housing affordability and the housing crisis. The average age of a first-time homebuyer in the United States now being 40 years old. By the way, in 2021, this age was just 33. We've added almost a decade to the timeline in just 4 years. The average sale of a home price, by the way, right now is over $512,000. Meanwhile, the real median household income in the United States, according to the Federal Reserve Bank, is just $83,000 a year. That is household income. So in order to get an average house in the United States, your household is paying over 6.1 of their annual earnings just to afford housing. The down payment on one of these homes, a 20% just normal down payment, $102,000. And that's all assuming you can actually save that amount of money, because rent has exploded, grocery prices have exploded, child care costs have exploded, health care costs have exploded, insurance premiums are about to explode even more, college tuition has exploded, and here's the thing nobody wants to actually admit, this isn't just an accident. Home prices are high because housing has been turned into an investment vehicle for the wealthy. So yes, we are literally allowing America to commodify housing and profit off of basic human necessities. And I could go on this conversation and make an entire in-depth video talking about housing in America. I really could, because it's not just this. We have institutional buyers, we have foreign investors buying records amount of homes, we have zoning laws preventing new housing construction in the exact cities where jobs are located, like San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, and even just around those metro areas. 75% of residential land is zoned exclusive for single-family homes, making it illegal to build condos, apartment buildings, or multi-family housing, which would actually put less strain on these major cities. And by the way, by the time Gen Z even reaches the age of 40, this number is going to go up even further. The system is working exactly as it's designed. It's just not designed for us. And now we could talk about wages. Because everyone loves to say, just get a better job. That solves anything. On one of my last videos, the one you probably even subscribe to this channel from, a lot of the comments were just saying, move. Just make more money. You're overspending. Just move out of the major city. And yes, I do live in New York City. But that is where jobs are located. We are in one of the worst job markets in history, especially for new grads. I am a new grad. I graduated within this last year. I moved to New York just because of this job. And for now, that is my situation. And this is a better situation than most because a lot of new grads aren't graduating with a job, are living with their parents, probably working retail jobs. And that just leads me into the federal minimum wage. The federal minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. I'm sorry, but this being unchanged since 2009 is absolutely ridiculous. To live comfortably in the United States, the National Low Income Housing Coalition says you need to make about $33.63 an hour, which I'm not proposing that we make that the minimum wage because that would honestly be insane. But even just increasing the minimum wage to around $15 to $20 an hour would make that number much more feasible and actually obtainable. And I already know some of the comments in the comment section are going to be, if we raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, everything gets more expensive. That is not how things work. It is much more complex than that. And also, if you look at the correlation between wage hikes and wage inflation to general cost of living inflation, the correlation is very weak. In fact, companies and organizations should be able to absorb these costs because of increasing productivity, reducing turnover rates, slightly lowering their profit margins, and obviously using technology and efficiency gains effectively. So pretty much all in all, if corporations were less greedy, we would actually be able to have a livable housing situation. Instead, we're stuck and trapped in survival mode. And if we actually measured worker productivity gains compared to minimum wage, and let's say you were paid based off like your productivity increase, the minimum wage today should be around $26 an hour. So you are saying that the average minimum wage employee is earning a business $26 an hour, meanwhile they're getting paid $7.25. Those aren't even stagnationary wages. That is generally just going backwards. Like that doesn't even mathematically make sense. Let's get off of the topic of minimum wage because most of us aren't making that realistically. Let's talk about entry-level professional jobs, the kind you kind of need a college degree for. The average starting salary for a college graduate in 2025 is just $68,000. Your take-home pay would be around $51,000 after taxes, and that's with the average state tax, which majority of these jobs are actually in higher tax bracket states. So this is overstating it, which at an hourly rate after tax is around $24 an hour. And of course, if you were to adjust this for inflation, adjusting it for productivity gains, adjusting it for housing costs, higher tax rates, higher grocery prices, higher cost of living, increases in car insurance, increases in healthcare, it's not a livable wage. They're honestly just on basic survival mode, and that is why the average consumer is extremely strained. Wages have been virtually stagnant for around 25 years. Meanwhile, the cost of living has increased exponentially. For example, in the 1980s, in order to go to college, the average public university costed around like $10,000 in today's dollars. By the way, that's adjusted for inflation, so it was a lot lower back then. And they made around $17,000. And if you adjust that into today's dollars, that's $60,000. So you graduated with college debt that was equal to about 17% of your starting salary, and you could realistically pay that off in a few years. Today, the average cost is over $104,000. Meanwhile, the average starting salary was only $68,000. We're not talking about home prices, food prices, or increases in anything else. We're just talking about college. That's disgusting. You're underwater before you even start. And some of the comments in that one video really ticked me off. Because when people just say Gen Z needs to work harder, I want you to understand what they're actually saying. They're saying we should work harder than our parents did, than our grandparents did, than at any point in history. You need to be more productive than ever before for lower real wages, while everything else has exponentially risen. Oh, and the house that you were expected to buy when you like graduated, got a good job, paid off your student loans and everything, you're going to be about 40 when you're actually at that age. Maybe even later, because that's using today's age, not when we're that age. So when people say Gen Z lacks work ethic, it just means that we're really good at math and we actually understand that, oh my God, this is a genuine scam. Now we can talk about the job market. Because even if you wanted to get a better job, the job market is actively hostile towards young people. Here's what applying for jobs looks like in 2025. You pretty much need a bachelor's degree for any entry-level position, or at least most of them. But then you also need 3 to 5 years of experience for a job that's labeled entry-level. You have to apply through some garbage applicant tracking system that auto-rejects your resume if you don't have the exact keywords they're looking for. But then you also get screened and have to do either a quiz or an assessment. And then if you work in anything technical, you get a technical interview that's going to screen your application out even further. If you don't get an 80% success rate on these assessments, you're pretty much cooked. For example, in 2025, for the average job posting, it receives over 250 applicants. And out of that large pool, only a couple get chosen for an interview. And then obviously only one gets chosen for the job. And that's just for the average posting. We're not even talking about internships or co-ops, because I've seen job postings get over 250,000 applicants. For example, the internship program that I went through had over 150,000 applicants. When I applied, it was only 80,000. Now it's at over 150,000 years later. How are we supposed to compete in this market? You're not going to hear back from 99% of the jobs you apply to. And the fact that we're even doing 3 rounds of interviews now for jobs that used to only be 1 round is insane. My friend was given a take-home project that took over 10 hours for him to do just to get ghosted later. Like, he built a full-stack application and then just gets ghosted after 10 hours of free labor. Like, insane. Like, what is this? Like, I don't even know, like, what this is getting into, honestly. And even if you did get hired, let's just say you got extremely lucky, because that's what it takes. It takes a lot of luck. It's a lot of strings of luck in a row. Even if you did get hired, there is zero loyalty within companies. Do you think a company like is willing to invest in you and actually value your work and your productivity that you're providing? Absolutely not. Because if quarterly earning reports come in a little bit in the red, or just not as high as expectations or the market wants, boom, layoffs are getting announced. Beat earnings, we're announcing layoffs. Corporate profits are at record highs. Stocks are at record highs. CEOs and executives are making more money than they have ever made in their entire lives, ever in existence, actually. But yet we're still at record high for layoffs, hitting a 22-year high in layoffs. Insane. You are not a valued employee anymore. You're literally just a cog in the machine. It's always been like this, yes, but now it's even more prevalent than ever. And this isn't just something that's happening right now. This has been happening for the past few years. Since 2022, we've been hitting higher and higher layoffs year over year. Like, for example, these aren't struggling companies. Like, I know people like to say that, oh, they're laying off for a reason. They're really not. It's not a valid reason. It's just to pad their pockets with more money. For example, the Meta layoffs, the Google layoffs, the Amazon layoffs. They're making record billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar profits, and it's still not enough for them. Wall Street is literally rewarding the average person suffering just to get a couple extra dollars on a stock. And when they do layoffs, CEOs get massive bonuses for hitting profit targets. Workers are literally just a number on a spreadsheet at this point. And that is why loyalty within companies are dead. We don't get pensions anymore. The 401k matches are a joke. And wealth inequality is at the widest it's ever been. Do you think a CEO works harder than the average person? Absolutely not. Do they deserve more money than the average person? Of course, because it's their idea most of the time, sometimes, not all the time. And I'm not saying that they should be paid the same as the average worker, but I think when it's over 400 times the average worker's salary is crazy. Because the average person is closer to being on food stamps and impoverished than they will ever get to be than being just profitable and wealthy. Or not even just wealthy, just having any sort of freedom. A lot of people are just one paycheck away from poverty, yet freedom and flexibility is something that is the farthest thing from you. If you decide to take any sort of risk in your life, and this risk is different for everybody, so I can't just label a specific one, but let's just say an average 25-year-old, they want to have a kid. That could be seen as a risk for them. You're literally asking to shoot yourself in the foot, and you're asking for your basic necessities and affordability to literally go in the toilet. Also, by the way, I already know some comments from this conversation. They're going to be like, oh, but nobody wants to work anymore. Because I heard that in 2022 when the job market was just starting to get bad, and it was something that was insane to me. It wasn't that we even had a labor shortage or that nobody wanted to work anymore, because that is literally corporate and company propaganda to put the blame on you and to put the blame and shift towards automation and AI. Because people will say 2022 we had a shortage of workers, right? And yes, some companies actually did. Some specific locations did have labor shortages. I'm not going to take advantage or take away of that. But on a wide scale of company, we're not actually. Companies will literally turn around and say nobody wants to work anymore, and you believe it. Like, you are literally being a suck up to these big billionaires and CEOs and corporations. They'll feed you any sort of propaganda that makes you target another person, another worker, another working class citizen, but yet you believe them and literally will just be a massive suck up for them. Because in the background, it's not about finding a qualified candidate. They're rejecting thousands, tens of thousands of applications from qualified people because they want somebody to work for less wages for them, just so they can make more money. Some people call this late stage capitalism. I just call it pure greed, because that's what we are getting into. We are literally in greed overdrive. We have never had this level of corruption and greed before. And yes, we've had corruption and greed in the past, but now we're at record high of both of those things. And Gen Z cannot be competitive with this. Corporations know that they can just extract more profits by hiring less and less people, paying them less and less, making them work harder and harder. And if you burn out or quit, there's 300 plus other people just waiting in line to take your spot. So naturally, we'll turn to the political system to fix these problems, right? That's how democracy is supposed to work. You elect representatives who solve systematic issues. Except the political system is run by people who don't experience any of these problems. The median age for a U.S. Senate is over 64 years old, and the House of Representatives is just over 57 years old. Our current president is 79 years old, and he still has another 3 years. These are people who bought their original homes for less than $50,000.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get that saw out of the back of Nick's truck like I told you to?
Yeah.
All right, good. Where'd you put it in the garage?
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
love you.
Good night, lover.
Hey, anybody feed dogs yet?
Uh,
Anybody feed dogs and cats?
I don't know.
Whose chore is it?
I also don't know.
I have to feed them on the back porch, probably. Or should they even feed them?
I don't know.
Well, Dean's got it, but he's going to have to wait until it quits raining to remind him.
Or
Dogs need to be fed, so he can't. It ain't going to rain all night.
okay.
Feed them on the back patio. All for the dogs from under the cover.
All right.
See, or something. I don't know. Whatever. Get them fed is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bye, love it.
Bye, lover.
They went to college when tuition was probably only $1,000 to $2,000 even a year. They got jobs by walking into an office and just handing a resume. They have government level healthcare and pensions. They do not understand what it's like to be an average 25-year-old. I'm not saying I'm saying our political system reward people who've been in power for decades, not people who understand what young people are actually going through. For example, the congressional approval rating is actually at historic lows. And this is kind of on us, honestly, too, at this point. Because House re-election rates are at 96.6%. I'm sorry, but who is re-electing these people? What are we doing? Oh, wait a minute. It's not really our fault, because the system is designed to protect incumbents. Our government is gerrymandering campaign finance laws that favor wealthy donors and party structures that punish any other political opponent. For example, we haven't passed any meaningful legislation on housing affordability. They've honestly never even addressed the wage stagnation. They haven't fixed student loans in any substantial way. They haven't done anything about corporate consolidation or monopolies. They haven't made healthcare more affordable in any way. They haven't addressed climate change in any serious way. And I know that's a debatable topic that some people don't even believe in, which is insane to me. Both parties are actually funded by the same corporations and wealthy donors who benefit from the current system. There are a bunch of reports even talking about the influence of super PACs and dark money in the last year's campaign. And it's funny because Democrats talk about helping the middle class while taking money from Wall Street, right? Republicans talk about the free market while giving subsidies to oil companies and defense contractors. But yet we can't afford any form of universal health care. We can't afford free college. We can't afford paid family leave. We can't afford any affordable housing program. The current system isn't designed to solve our problems. It's designed to preserve the wealth and power of the people already at the top. And I just scratched the surface on many of these issues. There's still a ton more. So many things that I didn't even address. But I'm going to say you're an informed viewer and you know about these other issues, because this video will be hours long if I actually address every single issue in our government. So let's talk about the actual solutions. Right? What are the paths to actually solve these issues and actually have meaningful progress? Everything is broken. We've established that. And that's completely understandable. Housing is unaffordable, wages are stagnant, the job market is hostile. The political system just doesn't work. It doesn't work for us. So what are the actual solutions? Let's talk about some systematic changes that need to happen if we want society to actually work for young people. So the first solution I want to talk about is housing a right, not an investment. The fundamental problem with housing in America is that we've turned it into an investment vehicle instead of treating it as a basic human necessity. Here's something that needs to happen. We need to heavily restrict corporate ownership of single-family homes. That is the first thing that needs to happen. There's no reason companies like Blackstone should own over 300,000 homes. These housing should be for people to live in, not for Wall Street to extract rent from. Several cities and countries are already doing this. Like, for example, in 2023, Canada banned foreign investors from buying residential property for 2 years. It's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. Berlin, Germany capped rents at inflation and is also in the process of buying back from these corporate landlords. We could do something similar. We could do something even on the same level. For example, if we just reform zoning laws to allow more housing construction, this would change housing affordability entirely. And that's just one little change. I'm not talking about the other ones I just talked about. I'm talking about just the reforming of zoning laws. In major metro areas and in major cities across the United States, this is the main reason. It's because we've made it illegal to build enough of it. We need to legalize multifamily housing, eliminate single-family only zoning laws, and allow developers to build more affordable units. Minneapolis even has a 2040 plan to not completely eliminate single-family zoning, but to restructure it. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a step in the right direction. We can even look at other major cities around the world and be like, what are they doing? What can we extract that's working in their environments? It's like a little case study. We have free case studies all over the world. Why aren't we extracting that information and turning it into an American policy? For example, build social housing. Vienna, Austria has 60% of its population living in high-quality apartments owned by subsidized housing and are rented at below market rates. They are repeatedly in the top percentage for quality of life. And this isn't a program that's just housing for the poor, because that's what a lot of people in America or a lot of politicians try to aim at or try to go towards. They're like, let's try to get housing for the poorest 10%, or poorest 5%, or whatever that percentage is, right? This is a program that's called Housing for All rather than only the poorest. This is making housing affordability leveled on all scales of income instead of just only for the bottom percent. And Vienna's program isn't perfect, but it allows up to 75% of the population to qualify. That is better than zero, because that is what we're currently at right now. We don't even have a program like this. Yes, we have Section 8, but it's not high quality living. The quality of life of a Section 8 recipient is bare bottom, dude. It is like bottom of the barrel. It is terrible. I'm not saying it's like this across the board for every Section 8 out there. Some of you guys may disagree, but for your average person, the wait lists are really long. To find a landlord to accept you is extremely difficult. And some voucher recipients even end up in lower quality housing or high crime rate neighborhoods due to the limited options. And even if you do find a quality place, chances are you're in a low opportunity neighborhood where there aren't many jobs available. So you have to commute or travel really far to find anything quality to just make a living wage. And it's crazy because we actually had this before in America. Public housing in America in the 1940s and 50s was actually high quality standard of living. We effectively just underfunded it and stigmatized it because that's what they want you to do. They want you to attack each other instead of attacking the greed and upper class. We can even strengthen tenant protections or cap rent increases. Although these policies aren't perfect, they prevent the kind of rent spikes that push people into homelessness. Housing should be treated as a right, not a commodity. We need massive public investment into affordable housing. restrictions on corporations, and tenant protections that prevent exploitation. This isn't some radical point of view. This is how most developed countries handle the housing. And another solution that we could even propose is tying wages to productivity and inflation. Wages have been stagnant for just about 50 years, while productivity has increased over 77% and corporate profits have exploded. That's something that's not sustainable. Here's what needs to happen. Raise the federal minimum wage. That's the first thing. Index it to inflation. The federal minimum wage should be at least 15, honestly, realistically closer to $20 an hour when you account for cost of living and
Wonder what I found this hack on TikTok for face now.
That's fine. I'll get what I need later. I figured those were gunners.
I guess I'll keep them. Thanks.
You said you found this hack on TikTok? I'm downloading it right now.
Got a pile of clothes you never wear anymore? Turn
I need you to make me a bunch of graphs and put them all together in one picture so I can see if there's any corresponding relations. I want you to take a graph of the age of all the senators and all the people in office. I want you to take a graph of the average person that owns a home, the average expected rate for people to own a home, the average minimum wage.
of workers in the 1950s to just 10% today. As union memberships declined, wage stagnation increased. That's not a weird coincidence. Why do you think Amazon, big banks even, massive wide-scale corporations are trying to demonize or put hush on these unions? Because workers in unions earn 10 to 20% more than non-union workers in the same exact industry and job. They have better benefits, better working conditions, and stronger job security. We need to pass some sort of act which would make it
The average worker productivity, the average profit that businesses have been making, the average amount of worker layoffs, and I want these all to range from 1900s to 2025.
easier for workers to form unions and bargain collectively. In 2021, we almost had something similar, but it just died in the Senate. We could even implement a profit sharing and a worker ownership model, which I think most companies should honestly cater towards. If productivity has increased by 77% since the 1970s, workers should share in those gains. Some companies already do this, and their worker retirement accounts have a higher median than the average. We could incentivize this model through tax policy and make it easier for workers to buy ownership stake in their own company. If you are a loyal worker to a company, you deserve a share in the wealth they create. If companies are making record profits while workers struggle just to afford rent and food, the system is systematically broken. We need to hold corporations accountable. Corporations are laying off workers while making record profits. CEOs are getting richer while workers get poorer. Monopolies control entire industries and crush competition. For example, in 2024, we spent over $1.34 trillion just on stock buybacks. That money went to shareholders instead of the workers. And stock buybacks were illegal until the 1982 because they were considered market manipulation. But now we are spending records amount of money on stock buybacks, and we wonder why wealth inequality is the way it is. We should either ban them altogether or just tax them heavily, just so the government and the people can profit off of these things too. If we just even tax them 10, 20, 30%, we could generate hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue that could fund housing, healthcare, education. We need to break up monopolies and enforce antitrust laws. For example, 4 companies, just 4 companies.
No, I want you to mesh them all together on one graph so I can see the correlation better. And add the average inflation.
Control 70% of all beef in America. 3 companies control 63% of the chicken market, and 2 companies control 90% of the beer market in America. Amazon controls 40% of all e-commerce, Google controls 92% of search, and we really only have a few companies control all major social media companies. This isn't competition, this is consolidation, and it hurts workers and consumers. You have these big, massive corporations buy out and acquire other corporations, and then we just turn into a big monopoly. If we just break up some monopolies, block anti-competitive mergers, and enforce antitrust laws that have been in the books for over 100 years but haven't actually been meaningfully enforced in decades, the quality of life for a worker and an average citizen would actually increase. Another thing is requiring corporate transparency and accountability for layoffs. If a company lay off workers while making record profits, there should be consequences to that. Some European countries justify layoffs and provide generous severance packages. For example, in